Hello and welcome to the Essex Boys Murder Case Part 2. Before we start, I'd just like to tell you about a Facebook page called The Real Essex Boys Murder Club, which is in capital letters. It's new, so please feel free to join, as I'd like to hear other people's input on this case, any facts, any theories they would like to add, so please feel free to join. So today we're going to be following the route of Billy Jasper on that evening of the triple murders according to him. Before we start this journey, I'd just like to point out that when Billy Jasper was on the stand, he was asked if he remembered an address in Windmill, Upminster, the Palms Hotel on the A127, Wooden Road and Rectory Lane. We know Billy Jasper was arrested 2 months after the Rettendon murders, which was 4 months before Darren Nichols was arrested. He's well known and connected to the East End criminal world. He said he met Jessie Gale at Morton's Bar in Canning Town, then they were joined by Mr D. They moved on to a restaurant and began discussing Tucker Tate and Rolfe. It is believed Jessie Gale and Mr D are connected to the Canning Town cartel. According to the Daily Mail, underworld sources said that they had done a deal to buy a consignment of cocaine, but Tucker Tate and Rolfe had no intention of paying for them. The Canning Town firm had found out about this and was planning what to do about it. Underworld sources said they had someone feeding them information about the double cross. So who else would know about this? We know Tucker Tate and Rolfe were putting pressure on Mick Steele to recoup the money on the Dud cannabis deal. Tate was saying freely he would get the man responsible for the Dud cannabis deal and shoot him in front of the crime syndicate who had invested in this venture. Would it benefit the crime syndicate if Mick Steele was dead? Could Steele have gone to the Canning Town firm to do a deal with them over future drugs deals? Could he have asked Jack Wooms to contact them? He knows this Canning Town firm. It might just be me, but when I watched Darren Nichols' Supergrass programme again the other day on YouTube, it's almost as if the Wooms family are trying to send a personal message to Darren Nichols when he watches it himself. As if to say, just tell the truth, Darren. You've told some truth, but you've also lied as well. Tell the truth and don't worry about our family in London. They won't get you. In the same show, Darren Nichols even says he has thought about getting them off, but he's too scared because of their family. Don't know, it might just be me reading too far into it, but have a watch and see what you think, guys. Darren Nichols and the 2 bent police officers were under surveillance by the police before the Rettendon murders, so they would have been listening in on mobile telephone conversations that evening. He may not have known what Mick Steele and Jack Wooms were up to down that track, but he's definitely tweaked his statement to make sure he's not implicated in these murders. I think Mick Steele and Jack Wooms were down that track that night to meet the hitman. Someone who could neutralise 3 big men and finish them off very quickly. They had to have lured them down that track somehow. Was it the double cross they were planning with the Canning Town firm? It's too much of a coincidence for Mick Steele, Jack Wooms and Darren Nichols to be in this little village that night of the murders. Tate and Tucker never used their mobiles after 7 PM. Neither did Mick Steele. Was Darren Nichols told to turn his phone off near this time? And they would all wait until, say, midnight to turn their mobiles back on. I don't want to go too much into the slayings of the Essex Boys today, because I want to concentrate on Billy Jasper's version of events. Mick Steele would have been an asset to this syndicate. He was bringing in large shipments of drugs into the UK and the syndicate are investing in this. They could just take out Tucker Tate and Rolfe and find new dealers. After all, it was common knowledge in Essex these three were ripping lots of people off in drugs deals. It has been said the Essex Boys will be tolerated so far. Underworld sources have gone on to say that Jesse Gale and Mr D had a personal score to settle with Tate and Tucker over some dodgy travellers' checks. Instead of paying for these travellers' checks, they beat up the go-between guy and stole them. Jesse Gale and Billy asked Billy Jasper if he would like to do some driving for £5,000 and he said yes. On the night he picked up a E-Reg grey Fiat Uno Turbo outside the Peacock Gym, like the one here. So this is where Billy Jasper says he picked up the stolen car. Just outside here, the Peacock Gym. He would have set up this road here, got to this part up here, and he would have turned right and joined this road here, Newham Way. He would have gone along this road, along here, along here, until he eventually have got to this place here. Here we are guys, this bit here. Now we've turned off here and he would have gone up this way here. Just along this stretch of road here. And this is Barking guys. He could carry on up this road and go to the A12 because that's what he's trying to get onto. Or he could go this way to the right where my arrow is, because he could have gone this way using the A and B roads. Now basically he's trying to head towards Romford. So let's try and get to Romford quickly. So guys, this is Romford here with the red marker, and Billy Jasper is trying to get onto the A12, which is here. This is where he's wanting to get to. So when he does eventually get onto the A12, he's going along this route here, along here, all the way along here, round this bend here, still on this road, down here, down here, and down here. Now, he would have stopped here. So I'm going to zoom in on this place here, because yeah, it had left the A12, eventually joined the A127 a bit further up this road here. But this is where it had stopped first, here. Now this place is the Palms Hotel, and this part here where my arrow is would have been the entrance to the Palms Hotel. This is the car park, and this bit here that I'm circling would have been the entrance to the car park. One way in, one way out. This hotel is actually closed now, but at the time of the murders, it was open for business. Just zoom in a little bit further, guys, for you. There you go. So this is the Palms Hotel, where Billy Jasper says he picked up Mr. D. So let's take a closer look at the Palms Hotel. So okay guys, this is the Palms Hotel on the A127. Let's get a picture up for you. There it is. Let's move on to this photo here. As you can see from the images of Google Earth that I put on a few minutes ago, this is the A127 here. To the right, the Palms Hotel. There's the car park. There. The main entrance to the hotel is here. And down here, you can see it's closed, guys, now. This is the entrance to the car park. So he would have come up here, would Billy Jasper, parked his vehicle probably in this car park here. I'm just going to take you to a different view of the Palms Hotel. So this is the Palms Hotel from a different view. You have the main road here, entrance here, the car park here, and over here, you see that, guys? There's a CCTV. If Billy Jasper did pick up Mr. D from here that night, surely they would have been picked up on this camera here. Did the police look into this and ask the management of the Palms Hotel if they could view the footage? One phone call from one police force to another could go and check this CCTV. Billy Jasper had already told the police in his confession he used an E-Reg grey Fiat Uno Turbo. They would have been able to look for this vehicle pulling up in the car park that evening and Mr. D walking up to it with his hold on and getting in. If this did happen that night, it would prove Billy Jasper was telling the truth and the car would be on CCTV. This place is closed now. So, was there any footage and was it checked? Who knows, guys? It might still be in there. It could be a small piece of evidence that changes everything. Was the road cameras checked on the main roads of the A12, A127 and the A130? Was there any reports of any stolen Fiat Uno Turbos a few weeks or months before the Rettendon murders? Even though Billy Jasper's version of events were dismissed by the police, I hope they checked these lines of inquiry out. So, Billy Jasper said he drove to a windmill cab office at Upminster Bridge, where they met Jesse Gale. So if we leave the Palms Hotel on the A127, they would have gone along this route here. Down here. Just down this part here. And they would have turned off and gone down this road here, which is Hall Lane. Now, this road leads into Upminster. all the way down here. And in the court transcripts, I think there's Upminster Bridge is mentioned, which is here. So they would have carried on. Eventually, they would have got to here. And they would have gone along this route here. All along here. Along here. Along here. And they would have gone up this road here, which is North Street. And Windmill Taxis is here, what I'm circling here. There's a large car park there. I think it belongs to a supermarket, not quite sure. But yeah, this is where Billy Jasper and Mr. D met Jessie Gale. Just zoom in there for you guys. So, Billy Jasper would have parked here somewhere. And he would have let Mr. D get out the vehicle, met Jessie Gale, and they would have gone down the side of the officers, which is here. On this side, there's the car park, trees, and then just the office walls there. But as you can see, guys, they would have gone down this side of the officers here, around here where the car park is. But yeah, guys, Billy Jasper would have parked round about here, according to him. So, let's take a closer look at the Windmill Cab Office. According to the address on Google, Windmill Taxis is situated here on the 4th floor. Billy Jasper says he drove to the Windmill Taxi office where he met Jessie Gale. He says Jessie Gale and Mr. D went down the side of an office. Guys, could this be the side of the office he's talking about? To the right here is the car park, which I showed you on Google Earth. The tree part there, and then the side of the office there. So, guys, I think Billy Jasper is talking about this part here. Just let me get a better angle for you guys. This is a slightly better view of the side of the office at Windmill Taxis. Before I did this research and made this video, I had different images in my head. What these places look like, what Billy Jasper was describing. Do you know what I mean, guys? And now I know what these places look like the Palms Hotel, this taxi office, and Rectory Lane, which I'll show you a bit later. It just changes the pictures in my head of what Billy Jasper was describing. The judge said it was a detailed account that he had given. When he was arrested for armed robbery, he gave clear details of these places he visited on the route he took all the way to Rettendon. In the court transcripts, he's even asked about the River Crouch on the A130, a car sales garage and a garden nursery near Rettendon, miles away from the Peacock Gym in Canning Town. Some people watching this video will not believe his version of events. We all have our own theories of what we think happened that night. When he set off that evening, it was dark and was directed to the area by Mr. D. When he took the police to try and remember this route he went on, it was daytime. on both occasions, which I know places you haven't visited before at night looks different in daylight. He was also told the night before by prison officers he would be giving evidence the next day in this murder trial. As the two associates are down the side of the office, this is when Billy Jasper says he looks into Mr. D's bag and sees a pump-action shotgun and a 9mm pistol. If Billy Jasper is lying, why mention a 9mm pistol? We know the Essex Boys were all killed by a pump-action shotgun, and the cartridges found were all fired from the same gun. This is why I think there was one killer that night, but other people were there. So okay, Jesse Gale and Mr. D went down the side of this office, and a few moments later Mr. D returned. When Billy Jasper and Mr. D set off, did Jesse Gale order a taxi from here to go to wherever he was going? Did the police check with the taxi firm to see if he'd used a taxi in his name? If he used his own vehicle to meet at the taxi office? Is there any CCTV of him or his car in the area? A quick check with DVLA to find out what car is registered with at the time, and they could have checked this to see if he was in this area. So Billy Jasper and Mr. D leave Upminster, head back up towards Hall Lane, which is here, and they would have joined the A127 and have gone along this road here, along here. And I'm just going to speed this up for you guys. Along this route here, they would have gone past Basildon, and they would have turned off at onto the A130. So, according to Billy Jasper, they're going along the A130, which is here, and they head up and go over the River Crouch, which is here. We're going to come back to the River Crouch in a bit, so bear with me. But in the court transcripts, they said they then got to this place here, which is the Rettendon Turnpike. Now, they would have gone along this road here, which is Wooden Road, which was mentioned in the court transcripts. And they would have gone along here. And in the court transcripts, Billy Jasper was asked if he remembers a car sales place. This is a car sales place here that I'm circling now. This here. Is this the one? Is it that has been mentioned? He was also asked about a garden nursery as well. But they would have carried on along this road here. Along around about here. Now he said they turned left and headed up towards a garden nursery. And then they left that road and then went onto a track. So, Rectory Lane is along here, guys. Along this road here. Now, the garden nursery, what he was asked about, would have been round about here. If we just zoom in. The nursery, can't really see it because of the trees, but it would have been round about here. And there's a little car park there. But This is the track Billy Jasper is talking about. They would have gone up here, along this part here. And the gate would be round about here somewhere. So let's take a closer look at Rectory Lane. So this is the garden nursery, what was mentioned, and obviously the view from Google Earth. This is the sort of like car park that I was trying to explain to you. I don't know what that track is, guys. I don't let you get up there, but see here, this is Rectory Lane. Guys, this is the track that Billy Jasper is talking about. So let's see if we can get a closer look up Rectory Lane. I know it's been over 20 years, but could this be the gate that Billy Jasper was mentioning? It's on the left, like he says it was, according to him. He says Mr. D was going to pick up 4 kilos of cocaine. He said he climbed over the left hand side of the gate and headed off. If Mr. D did go this way, he would have come along to White House Farm a few fields away. So this is the Google Earth view again. Rectory Lane here, with the red marker on. Billy Jasper and Mr. D would have gone up this lane here. The gate would have been round about here. And Mr. D would have got out and climbed over, and he'd have headed along a few fields, down along here, down here, down here. Now this place here is significant. Just pull it over a bit for you. There you go. This is where the Rettendon murders took place. This bit here where I'm circling. And just above it, here, is White House Farm. So this is how far Mr. D would have come over the few fields. And got the 2 holdalls, travelled back along here, and he would have met Mr. D, Billy Jasper here in the vehicle, and then they would set off all the way back down here, down this lane, Rectory Lane here, back onto the main road, Woodham Road here, and then they would have headed back down along here, down here towards the Rettendon Turnpike, which is here, guys. I'd just like to point out that Billy Jasper says he did not hear gunshots. 3 independent witnesses said they heard gunshots at around midnight. Make your own mind up, guys, as I don't know how far Billy Jasper was from White House Farm. According to Billy Jasper, Mr. D returned 40 to 45 minutes later with 2 bags. Now, as they approach this turnpike, this is where Billy Jasper in his court transcript says he failed to stop at a give way sign. He then says along this journey, Mr. D phones Jesse Gale to tell them everything was sorted. Did the police check Billy Jasper's phone on this night to see if he was in this area? Did they go around and arrest Mr. D and check to see if his phone was in the area? We know the police were trying to interview Jesse Gale, so they wouldn't have been able to get a hold of his phone. So as they're travelling down the A130, heading towards the, they would have come across the River Crouch again, and that I spoke about a little bit earlier. When Billy Jasper was on the stand, he asks if he can remember what happened going over the River Crouch. He says he can't remember, but I think he doesn't want to incriminate himself, thinking he's still on trial when he isn't. He's just merely giving evidence. It was said Mr. D threw the gun in this river going over the bridge. Did the police investigate this thoroughly at the time? Had the police already used most of their budget and manpower investigating Mick Steele and Jack Wooms? They were under surveillance by undercover police officers as well as the Customs and Excise. Billy Jasper says after they went over the River Crouch, they headed back to London and he dropped Mr. D off at the Morton's Wine Bar. Which is this place here. The next day, Billy Jasper read in a national newspaper about the triple murders in Rettendon and realised what had happened. He met Mr. D at this wine bar to collect his £5,000 and said he knew what he had done. Then said, "You took them out of the game." Jesse Gale died in a car accident a few years later. The police said this was not suspicious. Underworld sources say this was a revenge attack for the Rettendon murders. This is how things play out in the criminal world. You take them out before they get taken out. Mr. D's last known whereabouts after the murders was in a place called Loughton, London. No one knows the exact whereabouts of Billy Jasper or Mr. D to this day. If Billy Jasper was lying, why incriminate high-end gangsters? He definitely knew Jesse Gale and Mr. D. He's not making these names up. When on the stand, he was asked about Jesse Gale. He didn't even know he had died in a car accident. What about the Canning Town firm? They would have been fuming knowing they'd been implicated in these Rettendon murders. When the police investigate murders, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. And even the smallest piece of information or evidence could be part of building that jigsaw together. Some of the points I've raised on here are just small pieces of information that they could have checked to fit this jigsaw or to rule them out of their inquiries. Okay, that's about it guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks to all who subscribed to my channel, it means a lot. I'm sorry you had to wait a while for this video. I found some more information and to do some research, and that's the reason for the delay. Thanks to all the people who's joined my Facebook page, which is the Real Essex Boys Murder Club. I enjoy all the comments and information on this case, what gets put on there. My next video will be about the crime scene. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later guys. Take care.